All right, do it. All right, do I need to clap?
Nope,
Give us a clap.
you don't even have to.
All right, and what? 3, 2, 1, and we're back. It is Thursday, June 15th, and the PTA boys are back after a
Boom.
much too long hiatus. I know everyone's been waiting for this one. Uh, so Buzzsaw's back with us, T-Bone's back with us, and yours truly, Hollywood, is back with everybody. So today we're going to kick things off. We're going to talk a little NBA stuff since that's what's really going on right now. We're going to talk about Jokic in Denver, where Jokic ranks all time. We're going to talk about some of the players that are looking at possibly being moved with, Dame, Zion, Bradley Beal, Kyrie, Zach LaVine. And we're also going to each talk about our top 10 duos currently in the league. And then we're going to move that on over to the NFL. We got, exciting free agents like D-Hop and Dalvin Cook. And we're also going to talk a little NFC East, break that down. And we're also going to break down the NFC West. So let's kick things off with our new NBA champions, the Denver Nuggets. Took the Heat out in 5. Jokic, absolutely amazing. I mean, what he averaged in the postseason, like what 30, 13, and 9 or something crazy like that. I mean, where does this championship rank as far as the last few years? Where does this Denver team rank?
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of recency bias with it. Like I saw a Bleacher Report article saying that in the past 5 years, this is the best championship team in the past 5 years. And I feel like we could say that about every team that just wins the championship team. Like they had like the Nuggets team, this Nuggets team at 1. They had the Kawhi Raptors at 4. I know they had the Kawhi Raptors at 5. They had LeBron Bubble team at 4. And then the Golden
Where
State.
did they have the Golden State?
Golden
No,
State
they had Golden State at 4.
Did
I
you
saw that.
see it?
That Golden State team sucked.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
they had the
Golden
Bucks,
State,
and they had the Bucks at 2.
Yeah, they had that, but it's honestly not wrong. I mean, the only team that maybe is arguably as good as that Bucks team. I think these Nuggets beat every other team. Like
You can make a case for that Laker team. That Laker team was amazing.
Yeah, and that's what I agree. And I think you could make a case for any of the teams.
Yeah, but none of them were as dominant as Denver was this postseason.
I mean, yeah, they went 16-4.
Yeah, they lost 4 games. However, they played an 8 seed, a 7 seed. Who'd they play in the second round? A 5 seed, and then an 8 seed. The highest seed they played was a 5. So it's like,
yeah, but
they weren't running. I mean, it was a weird year, but they weren't running up against like 2 seed, 3 seed, 1 seed, or anything like that.
I mean, but that Lakers team was not a true 8 or what were they, a 7 or 8? I mean, they were
7 seed.
They were really good. I mean,
it was still a makeshift team that got put together at the deadline.
Fair, but they did sweep them, and that was a pretty damn good team.
It was.
Yeah, and this Nuggets team's great. I don't know. I just think there's a lot of recency bias with it. I would take the Milwaukee team personally over them. I'd probably take the Warrior team too.
I don't think I'd take the Warrior team.
I think that Warriors team was garbage. I don't think that team was very good. They played whoever in the first round. I don't even remember. Then they played the Memphis Grizzlies without Ja. They played us, and we suck. And then they played the crappy Celtics who always shit their pants. And their second best player was Andrew Wiggins. I feel like that Laker team, the Bucks, or this Nuggets team could have taken them out. Oh, that's who they played. They played the Nuggets. Who they beat in what? 5?
But yeah, regardless, the Nuggets they're set. Dude, Jokic, I think might like Jokic more than Luka. And if Luka ever gets traded, I would like him to go to the Nuggets because I would love to see that team play.
Oh my god.
But this man does not get tired, bro. He plays 46 minutes every fucking night. If they're up by 20, it doesn't even matter. He stays in. He takes it coast to coast. He can shoot threes. Bro, some of the threes I saw...
He never goes over 5 miles an hour.
No, he hit a few threes, bro, to where he's posted up just... he's insane. We haven't ever seen a big man like this.
His touch around the rim is fucking insane. Some of these shots he gets to fall in. You're just like, what the fuck?
I love when people try to compare him to Artis Sabonis, and then they're like, oh, he's as good as a passer as Sabonis and all this stuff. It's like, dude, this guy is worlds beyond any big man ever passing. And that's strictly just passing. His touch around the rim. He's got a Larry Bird / Dirk feel to him. He's got like the footwork of Akeem Olajuwon. Like he's like a makeshift like superhero if you combine like traits of like 5 different guys.
Well, there's only
Dude's
a couple
monster.
guys. There's only a couple guys that have even been somewhat close to him passing wise in the league. It's like Bill Walton and like Sabonis. Like those are the only 2 guys that like anyone is able to like bring up.
Yeah, but they're not, I don't even think they're in the same league. Like what
They're
they
not.
average 5 assists a game. Like
No, this
And
is
what-
they
way
were-
different.
And what he
Yeah.
does, like the chemistry is at an all like everyone like he is the heart, the soul, the operations, the brain, the whole entire thing of this team. And like they get so many goddamn easy baskets because of him too. And like a few years ago too, he really wasn't like dominant shooting, but now I feel like you can't leave him open. And that creates
No.
so many problems. The fact that he could shoot effectively the way he does now. And he's not bad on defense anymore either. He's no stud in the interior, but he can hold up on his own.
But he tries. He tries.
He tries.
doesn't-
He gives effort. He's not.
dude, I mean,
Luka.
he bothered Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis could not score on him. He was too physical. I mean, he's 320 pounds.
He's
like,
not
yeah,
320.
I think he is.
So he's 320.
There's no way he's 3.
I think he's
Dude,
two,
I'm pretty-
he's 280. I'm pretty sure he's
I bet he's
280.
Really?
280.
I heard someone say it was 320. Regardless, he's ginormous. Like you can't
Yeah.
move him. He's too strong. I mean, he's obviously not a rim protector, but he consistently, like I think this season was like top 10 in
320.
defensive rating for center.
I mean, there's something to be said for just being big. Like
yeah, he's
literally just being
huge.
big and being
Well,
a presence.
And he's nimble. Like he's
Yeah.
not fast, but he's low key quick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it should be a fucking lesson for fucking Luka. Like, get in fucking shape, dude.
Dude, I
Like-
like watching Denver play. How Jokic moves the ball is exactly how you want Luka. Like, if you could, like, that's what I think. Was I talking to you about it, bro, the other day? Like, put Luka at
Mhm.
like the 4 position and just have him like literally play just like Jokic. Like, don't have him play like James Harden and fucking dribble and do pick and roll the whole time. Like, give him the ball at the top of the key and just start swinging. And then if there's 10 seconds of the shot clock, we haven't gotten a good shot, then let him go to work. But that
Yeah.
Denver offense is so fluid. It's just beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful to watch. Like they're just passing handoffs, and
But
I mean, they're all moving.
but Jokic operates primarily in the posts. I don't see Luka having a game like that.
Well, no, he operates all around. Like he'll get the ball at the top of the key, he'll get the ball on the 3-point line in the middle, and just start swinging.
He d-
Either
Yeah, but-
way, he got to get the ball moving. Like,
Yeah.
like remember
Mhm.
like last year in the playoffs when Luka was out and Jalen was our guy, the ball was moving a lot and everyone around got better.
Yeah.
It's a problem when Luka's fucking dribbling the ball for 18 seconds and then driving and getting fouled, taking step back threes. Like that, everyone else just standing around with their dick in their hands. Like that's why the Nuggets are so good, and that's why like the one game that the Heat did beat them. I mean, he had 4 assists. Jokic had
Yeah.
4 assists, and because they made him take 28 shots, which Jokic doesn't want to do.
I mean,
He wants to get
he
the
still
ball.
dropped 41. I mean, the
He
Nuggets
dropped
should have won
41,
that game
but-
too. That was the thing
But they're
about that series.
better. They're better when the ball's moving though.
They
Like, I
are,
think-
but the Nuggets beat them every which way. They beat them when
They
they
did.
weren't. When they beat them, Jokic had 4 assists in Game 5. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, they beat them every which way, and they should have won Game 2. They went up. They were up and going into the 4th by like 9.
Beyond
So-
Jokic too, we got to get credit to the rest of this roster. Jamal Murray is probably
Monster.
better than he even was in the bubble. I mean, that
Yeah.
guy didn't seem like he could miss. Aaron Gordon, everyone's like saying, "Oh, Aaron Gordon's this like defensive ace." Like he's really good at defense. I don't want to put him in that defensive ace category, but what was it, game 3 or 4? He had 27 and like 11 and 15
Yeah.
shooting. And then the supporting cast, like I mean, dudes like
Bruce
Bruce
Brown.
Brown. Bruce
Bruce
Brown's about to
Brown,
go get paid. Christian Braun
KCP.
balled out. KCP.
Yeah.
And like, bro, we were talking about this earlier, but yeah, this is gonna be like a ring chasing team now for these old Jay Crowders, and they already have Jeff Green. But guys
Well, it's
like
also
that, and
The
they're
Robert
set up.
Covington.
They're set
Well,
up for the next 8 years.
Well, it's also because like guys like Bruce Brown, what he did last year, he went there to sign on a lesser deal. And look at how much Jokic improved his value, just because you're never going to get more open shots than when you're playing with Jokic. And Jokic is the most unselfish superstar we have right now.
Yeah,
Maybe-
and Bruce
maybe
Brown's a
I'm-
great cutter. Same with Aaron
Ex-
Gordon. They're both amazing cutters, which is exactly what Jokic needs. You
Yeah.
can just put him at the top, let him hand off to Jamal Murray, and then hit cutters all day, which is exactly what Aaron Gordon and Bruce Brown do. The offense, it flows just perfectly.
It's amazing.
Well, and they built that team too. You have Aaron Gordon, you have Bruce Brown, KCP. They have actual defenders around these guys that aren't, great defenders.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's
there's
like,
also
we got to appreciate too, like, the process. Like, I feel like teams nowadays, we want to just get to there in 1 to 3 years. The Nuggets, it has been percolating for 7, 8 years. Like, you don't
Yeah.
really see that
Yeah.
anymore. Like, it's
and
always
props
want a
to
quick fix, but
and props to them for sticking with Malone. I mean, this is Malone's 8th year, and they've held on
Yeah.
to him. When you see like guys like Budenholzer, who just won a championship a couple years ago, getting fired, like is
Yeah.
super quick.
there's just no
That's-
patience in today's NBA.
No,
Like, they
not at
want it
all.
now.
Well, it's
Yeah.
the issue with the Mavs. We're trying to microwave Luca, and it just cost us Jalen Brunson and all our cap
And it-
space, and now
and-
we're fucking tied to the mast with Kyrie
And it's just the
Irving.
current state of the NBA. Like, if a player wants out, it's a players' league. The player will get to move, so you have to make him happy. Like, you would think in an ideal world, oh, Luca's 24, like he's early on in his career. We got the 10 pick.
Yeah.
This will be a foundational piece, but it just doesn't work like that in today's NBA, unfortunately.
Well, shit, Jason Tatum's what, 25, 26? How long has it felt like Jason Tatum's been in the league? Like the
Well, because
dude's
they
been
get,
in
they
the
get here at
long.
18.
Well,
They
yeah,
get here
dude's,
so fucking
dude's
young.
been in the conference finals every single year he's been in the league, and it's like everyone's shitting on him, which I don't really like Jason Tatum as much as most, but still, like he's still 25. Like he's got plenty of time. Fucking Brandon Ingram's 25. Brandon Ingram looks like he's been in the league 15 years. Like
No, it's funny. Yeah, like guys that are like 23 to 25 now, like people call them like veterans. These are
yeah,
young
well,
veterans.
they've been in the league 6-7 years already. Yeah, literally.
I think one thing that's also true that we can definitively say is that Jokic is the best value pick in NBA draft history.
Yeah, I don't
No
think
doubt.
I don't think
40
there's any doubt
40
about
for-
that one.
41st pick in the draft. They
With
fucking
the
get Jokic.
Quesarito ad plan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
you
might be
can't
the.
do
I
that.
mean, he might be the best non-lottery player ever picked.
Oh yeah, I mean,
You'd have to run through the top like 20 list, but
That's
I
probably
mean,
a long
either way, I
list.
mean, what? I mean, it's as far as where Jokic ranks all time. I mean, where are we? I mean, what, he's around 25, top 25, no doubt. Is he
yeah,
creeping to top 20?
he might be
Already?
creeping into the top 20. Yeah, I mean, if we're including like Wilt and Bill Russell and Jerry West, then probably not. And he's
Yeah,
probably right
and
on the
you have
cusp.
to include those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do like 1970s and on, like modern basketball, I guess, probably like right at 20, 19. But I mean, he's already, I mean, I think he's better than Dirk. I think he's better than Barkley. I think he's better than Karl Malone. I mean, because obviously pending he like doesn't break his leg and never plays basketball again.
Yeah.
But the dude's he's gonna be like a top 10 scorer, top 10 rebound, top 10 assists. Maybe not top
Question.
10 assists, but
Yeah.
like through his entire career.
Now, is what he's done already more impressive than what KD's done in his entire career?
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I saw
pretty
this the other day.
hilarious.
What's KD
Is
done?
Is KD
What's he
considered-
done?
Is KD considered a draft bust?
No.
Is he on that spectrum at all? Is considered a bust
Oh
of
God,
what's
no.
of what's been expected of him?
No.
Or okay, let's take the perspective of his first few years with
What
the
they consider-
Thunder. Once they made that finals and lost, from that point on, is he considered a bust?
Absolutely not.
His
Kevin
only
Durant?
Kevin
he's one of, like,
Durant.
the top. He's like a top 20 player ever.
But the
He's
expectation
like
of
top 15.
if Kevin
like-
Durant never joined Steph Curry, he very well may not have a finals.
but
Yeah,
he
but
did.
But he did.
But he
So
did,
it's
and he
like-
joined the best team ever. But if he doesn't do that, he doesn't have a finals. Where does that put Kevin Durant on the all-time list?
I mean, he'd be like
if
one of
we're-
those
if we're
guys,
saying
like
he- If we're
If
saying
he
like,
never won a finals, if he
stayed in Oklahoma City and never
Yeah.
won,
yeah, and then he bounced to Brooklyn and did all that shit.
I mean,
I
he's
mean, would he
still
be like-
probably over Karl Malone and Barkley, who never won titles.
yeah.
I mean, is there any doubt that Kevin Durant's better than Charles Barkley or Karl Malone? Like,
No.
he's 7 feet tall and he's a fucking shooting guard. Like
He's one of the best.
Barkley was amazing, but Barkley was a 6'5" fucking power forward. Like Barkley was great, but KD's a different fucking animal.
Yeah, KD's any era. I mean, KD balls.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
too
you
good.
can make a case like if you put together if you could just put together a lineup of 5 players like ever, I think you'd have a hard time not putting Kevin Durant into the lineup just because how he would fit. Like he could fit perfectly. Like
I feel like,
obviously,
yeah, like-
Birds had a
Like
better
to
career.
the naked
but,
eye, yes. Like on the court, what you see, but obviously, like behind the scenes, like he doesn't fit.
well,
I mean, to
he fit
K-
on another. He fit on the Warriors. When
I
they
mean,
were star-studded.
KD's credit, he does like whenever he goes these star-studded places, he does like he makes it work whichever way. Like he took the back seat kind of, and like, he took more selective shots with the Warriors. And then, he had to figure out how to play with Devin Booker on the fly here with Phoenix while playing 45 minutes a night, and
Yeah.
still played really well. Did what he could.
We need to have a conversation about who's better between Devin Booker and Kevin Durant currently, because Devin Booker
Devin
was
Booker-
on fucking fire
Yeah.
He was
in
incredible.
the postseason. He was the best player on that team.
Oh, he was incredible.
I mean, that was insane. Kevin
That was
Durant's still
incredible.
Kevin Durant, but
Yeah. All right, you guys got anything else to add on the Nuggets and Jokic?
Nope.
All righty. Well, let's move into some of the players that might be on the move this year. Some intriguing names out there. We're gonna kick things off with Damian Lillard, who
To the
has
Heat.
what is he 35 and has 30 was he 34 35?
I
he's
think
32.
33. He's not
He's
35.
He's
I'm over-
32.
I'm
Yeah,
overshooting
I
a little bit.
heard he was 32 today, and I was like, that's really not that old. Steph Curry's 35 and just won
Yeah.
Finals MVP. Like, he still
Yeah.
has
And
some
Dame
years
Dame
left.
Dame's still playing at a super high level.
Yeah.
He was
Like,
awesome
he's
last
still
year.
a great player.
I have if Portland doesn't blow it up, they have the number 3 pick, and it looks like, barring a trade, the Hornets are going to take Brandon Miller. If they trade that 3 pick where they could take Scoot Henderson for like OG Anunoby or like Pascal Siakam and just try to win with Dame in the next 3 years, that entire front office needs to be fired. You have the perfect opportunity to rebuild right
Just-
now.
If that happens though, that's because Dame's saying he wants to stay in Portland.
I feel
But-
like at this point you come to Dame and you're like, listen, dude,
Yeah, you
I-
need to take
like-
a back seat. Like you're
Yeah.
yes, you're our franchise, but at the end of the day, like we're the front office, you're a player. But did you
But-
see
yeah.
Dame said that he doesn't want to be on a team that's 2 or 3 years away from contending. And he said on a podcast recently too, this guy said if you had the option to pick between the Heat, the
yeah,
Bucks, the Celtics, and the Nets, he said easily the Heat.
yeah,
and that's where-
Brooklyn.
That's where I want to see him go. Is I feel like I feel like he's a Miami guy, and I
Yeah.
actually did the trade calculator because I don't. Have you ever done that? The NBA trade machine? Like, have you
I
ever
have
fucked
not.
around with that?
Mm-mm.
Dude, it like with the salary cap, it's so fucking complicated. But hypothetically,
It's a pain in the ass.
the Heat or the Blazers could trade Dame and Keon Johnson to the Heat for Lowry, Hero, Nikola Jovic, and 3 first-round picks. That trade would go through hypothetically if it was proposed to one of these teams.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only hurdle with Dame is the last 2 years of his contract, or what he's getting 60 mil, which is
yeah. Well, it's
which
like
is-
who's walking through the door in Portland that you look at a team with Dame. Obviously, you just traded, you gutted your roster to bring whoever this is in. Like, who is coming through that door that you say we can compete with the Denvers, the Phoenixes,
No one.
the Lakers? Like, other than Joel Embiid, which isn't going to happen. Who comes through that door that Dame's like, yeah, we can fucking win? Like,
There's no.
I mean,
one.
the only
There's no one.
the only other I mean, the
I
only
mean,
other, best guy
maybe-
besides Jaylen Brown, but
I mean, or like hypothetically, if you could get a healthy, locked-in Zion, maybe. But I mean, that ain't gonna.
I
happen.
don't like the odds of that.
I'm saying
No,
a best case
but-
scenario there. But like for that hypothetical trade right there, like for Miami, I mean, Butler's 33, Dame's 32, and Embiid's what 26, 27. So I mean, Miami's obviously all in to win right now. And I mean, who knows what the Celtics are going to do? Like if Miami were to get Dame and Gabe Vincent, Kevin Love, Max Strus, what's his name? That twin? What's that twin's name? Martin.
Caleb
All these
Martin.
guys are free agents, but you retain 1 or 2 of those guys, go deep in the luxury tax, and we see these guys in Miami that are second round undrafted developing every year. I mean, if they got Dame, they're the favorites out of the East for sure.
Eh.
Who would you take over them?
Well, it depends on what happens with Middleton and Brook Lopez, but I would still probably pick. If I had to bet, I would still bet on the Bucks. And it depends on what happens with the Celtics. The Celtics have said that they're engaged in trade talks and that they're looking to trade one of their guards, which I assume means the Derek Whites, Brogdons, and Marcus Smarts. I mean, obviously,
what are they gonna- what
Jalen
are they gonna-
Brown's on the table, but
But like for Boston, it's like Boston this past playoffs had like a perfect roster.
If
hypothetically.
Boston
They
should
were
have won
so
it this year,
deep.
they're loaded.
Oh,
Derek
yeah.
White was all NBA. Marcus Smart won Defensive Player of the Year last year. Al
Yeah.
Horford is the perfect center to have on any roster. Then you have two superstars in Brown and Tatum. I mean, do we put it on the coach or what? Like if I'm
you
Boston,
put it on Tatum
you put. I mean,
And
what do
the
you put it on
coach.
Brown? Brown didn't show up.
and Brown, yeah,
Brown
but
didn't
show
Tatum
up
for the
either.
most part. Yeah, but you
Tatum
can't like.
showed up more than Brown.
I don't know
Not by
about that.
much.
Not
I mean,
much.
Tatum's the reason that went to 7. I mean, he started balling out once they were down.
Brown was balling out too in games 4 through 6. They
Yeah,
all were balling
you
out.
shouldn't let it get down to 3-0 in the first.
But it
one, so.
doesn't matter. Like it's on Tatum because he's the guy. Like that's how it works. Like no one shits on Chris Middleton when the Bucks lose. Like no one shits on Jamal Murray when the Nuggets lose. Like Jaylen Brown is better than those guys. Well, I don't know if he's better than Jamal Murray, but he's like he is. You think of him as a step up, but it's on Tatum. Like it's always on Tatum. It's not on Jalen Brunson when Dallas loses. It was on Luka. Like it's always on the star. That's how it always works.
Well, and there's like that contradicting like factor of like, we don't really know if Tatum believes he truly is that guy.
yeah.
And I mean, we saw last year we got shit on for posting that Kobe reel of him or whatever, how he was comparing himself to Kobe, but he just doesn't have that dog in him, I don't think.
He
And I don't-
texts
And-
Kobe though.
He did text Kobe. I don't know if that means you're Kobe.
But
if
what-
he
but what-
texts Kobe, but
But what, Tatum is still what, 24, 25?
yeah, I mean he's
Yeah.
still super young, and
He's still got time. Like,
and that goes back to like what we were saying earlier, like how these guys are like young veterans. It's like it seems like he's been in the league for 10 fucking years. I mean, he hasn't.
Yeah.
But he's been in the league for what, 6, 7 years at this point. So I mean,
Yeah. But I mean,
But, like-
just like going back to Dame, like I feel like if there was, like, I feel like the Heat are the only option. I don't know what other option unless you want to do a Jaylen Brown for Dame swap. Like I don't know where else he goes.
if I'm Boston, I mean, Dame's gonna come in there and try to be that killer. And
I
especially in
would
the
do
fourth
that if
quarter.
I was Boston. I mean, he's only 32. Like
Yeah.
he's got 3-4 more years left to be
If
a
I'm
stud.
if I'm Portland though, I'm wanting to do a Thunder rebuild. I don't even want to get a Jaylen Brown because you're not going to contend with even if you have Jaylen Brown. I'm wanting to get as
Yeah.
much young capital and just future draft picks as I can. And I think Miami is that logical piece because Dame's old, Jimmy Butler's old. They get, let's say, a 24, a 26, a 28, maybe a fourth, a 29 or something. Like those later picks end up being real valuable. And then, like you said, Scoot falls to them at 3. It makes too much sense for Portland not to trade Dame.
This is
they
the
have to
perfect
trade Dame.
opportunity. They backed into what were they like supposed to get the 9 pick? Like they
Mhm.
backed into this 3 slot. Like they just struck gold. Like and you
Yeah,
can
they-
get Scoot Henderson, who's
literally.
probably
The
going to
Scoot
be a
thing is-
stud.
And
Yeah.
if Wembanyama's not in this draft, then everyone's Scoot is the guy at 1.
For
like,
some
he's
reason,
the guy.
well, the Hornets want to take Brandon Miller, which I mean, I
I
guess
could very well
in-
see the Hornets trading out of that slot, or I
I
could
could
see them even
too.
drafting Scoot because I feel like in today's
think they should
NBA,
just
like
draft
you gotta
Scoot.
you gotta get the best overall guy.
I-
I don't
yeah,
like
they
fit.
should
I think
take
Scoot's the best
Scoot.
guy.
Yeah, you should always take the best player, especially in the NBA draft, because there's like
Mhm.
like there's like 90% bust rate. So like,
Mhm.
well,
you should
especially when
always
you're the
take the
Hornets
best player.
who already suck, and it's like LaMelo Ball is good. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I think people are already projecting Scoot to be better than LaMelo. So it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, we'll see.
yeah.
I mean,
But-
if Scoot was in that LaMelo class with AE, Scoot's going ahead of LaMelo and Anthony Edwards for sure. Edwards and LaMelo were not made prospects like Scoot. Scoot is a better prospect than LaMelo and Edwards. I mean,
Alright,
that was a weak draft. Like when
it
people
was a
talk
weak draft.
about
I mean,
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards ended up being better than people
it. Yeah,
thought. he
Edwards
would,
is
for sure.
great, but I'm saying if Scoot was in that, he would go 1.
Oh, for sure,
Probably
because he was definitely a much more highly touted prospect.
Well, he's built like a fucking man too. That dude's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking jacked.
huge. Yeah, I mean, he
Oh.
looks like he's 28. Like,
All right. Before we move on, anything else on Dame? So Dame to the Heat, is that the consensus?
Yeah,
Or
I mean,
otherwise, the Trailblazers deserve to
I-
have everyone in the front office fired?
I will say I could see like maybe the Knicks trying to get him.
the Knicks. Well, I just don't know
Feels
what
like
you
a
do
Knicks-
if you have
That'd
Brunson
be
and
such a-
Dame.
That's too small of a backcourt.
Yeah, like, are you
It
really
is,
gonna
but-
run Brunson
but I-
Dame?
I think the Knicks could convince themselves, oh, we made the second round this past year. We have Brunson. I think they may overlook fit and just say, okay, we need another big name in here and we want to go for it.
The one that could be interesting is Brooklyn. I mean, I think,
But I don't think
if
Brooklyn
has
really
McHale-
has a
I-
chance to contend.
They
They'd be
they
good.
won't be
They'd be good.
they'd
but-
have to sign someone else. But I mean, Mikal Bridges is really
He's
good.
good.
Nick
He's good.
Claxton's really good.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you'd probably have to trade Cam Johnson. You'd probably have to trade. I don't even know if they'd want Dodo or Dinwiddie, but they have a million picks. So
I mean, I doubt. I mean, even if they do that trade and they get, I don't know who. I mean, who would they even get?
they're not
that would-
going
I
to
mean,
beat the Bucks or the Celtics.
I mean, they wouldn't even be better than the Cavs, or the Knicks.
Well, I don't
like,
know.
I would take him over the Cavs in a playoff
I'd take him
series.
over the Cavs.
I still like the Cavs' future.
But I mean, if
see-
Harden comes back
regardless
to
of
the
what happens,
Sixers
but-
too, I don't know if I'm going to take him over the Sixers even.
yeah.
Or if the Sixers swap Harden for Fred VanVleet or Bradley Beal.
And I feel like Dame doesn't fit the Nets timeline. Like they traded Kyrie and KD to build for the future. They're
yeah.
getting all these picks. Like why would I don't understand why you would take that step.
Yeah, for
But-
some
Yeah.
reason, he said he wanted to go there because of Mikal Bridges, which I don't really understand.
Apparently Dame and Bam are like boys too, so that could be another reason that
Yeah,
No,
well, that's why
everything points to
he
the Heat.
said Miami. Yeah,
Everything points to the Heat. I mean, and the Trailblazers, if they don't trade him at this point, they're just stupid because you're not winning with him and Anthony Simons and whoever. you
Jeremiah
got.
Grant?
Shaden Sharp.
Hey, that guy could
Yeah.
fucking dunk.
that
He
guy's a hell of a
can. All right,
2K franchise
up.
player.
The big. Next up on the list here, we got the big man, big ice cream himself, Zion.
Big
Uh,
ice cream.
Uh,
Big man down
big gu-
south.
Big Gumbo.
it recently came out that the Pelicans were willing to trade him for the 2 pick, right? Because they want to get their hands on Scoot.
Well, I don't think they said they would trade him for the 2 pick. There was just reports that he was available. Technically,
I think the odds that Zion gets moved are pretty low.
they're slim to none.
But-
There's no way.
Especially if they were to bail on Zion, then he goes and balls out somewhere. Like there's no way you get that value back unless they do get the 2 pick and Scoot's a beast. But what do you
Yeah.
do? What do you even do with Zion at this point? Like really? Like what do you say to him? What do you do? I don't.
I think you have to come in and talk to because I don't even know if he wants to be. I don't think he wants to be there.
He never
like-
wanted to be there.
No, I
He
don't
made it
think
clear
he
he
wants
wanted to go
be
to New
there.
York. He wanted the
And
Knicks
that's
to get
probably
that one
why
pick.
he's such a shitbag. Is because he's there and he's like, I don't want to be here, so I'm not going to play.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he said that last postseason. He was like, yeah, I can play, but I don't feel like Zion. so
I
I'm
would
not gonna
fucking
play."
hate Zion if I was a
Oh my
Pelican fan.
god! Well, and the
and
Pelicans
they
are
already-
loaded too. Like,
Yeah,
if he
They have a great
played,
team.
they were the number 1 seed in the West before he got hurt.
If he was a full go, they could have made a run at it. Like,
Yeah, dude, they were
honestly.
the 1 seed. Them and Denver were fighting for the 1 seed when Zion got hurt after like 25 games. And Brandon Ingram's a stud. McCollum's still great. You have a ton of good role players, and they're young. Still have picks. Like,
Yeah, they had Trey
they're a
Murphy,
great team.
Alvarado,
yeah,
I mean,
Herb
they got-
Jones.
Valanciunas. They
Valanciunas.
have really good players.
Yeah,
I would like if Zion were to go anywhere. My hypothetical trade was to the Knicks. Kind of same thing. Like I think Zion's a big market kind of name. I think he would sell so many damn jerseys in New York. And I mean, I think
he
that
pulled this
fit
shit
with
if
Brunson
he-
would be pretty good.
yeah.
But
If he pulled this shit in New York would run him out of town.
I think if the Knicks were to hypothetically
Oh
trade for him,
God.
I mean, I think they would probably have some kind of, mental talk in place of, hey, but who knows with Zion? He's kind of turning into like a Kyrie. Like you don't really know what you're gonna get. You don't know if he's gonna
Yeah.
play. Well, you got the off the court shit. And I mean, I don't.
A lot off.
I mean,
the
this could
court shit.
potentially
A lot
be
of off
this
the
could be-
court
It's a
shit.
lot.
He's out
This
there
could be
fucking,
potentially-
bro.
Yeah,
He
he's
doesn't
out
care
there.
about
He's out there
basketball.
doing work.
Yeah, and it's not on the court.
Yeah, what was
no.
what was that shit? Is like that girl he was sleeping with like posted a bunch of shit about him like after
Dude,
his girlfriend got
she
pregnant or
like
something like that.
mass tweeted about him for like 3 days straight.
Wasn't he getting with a porn star too?
She was like an OnlyFans model.
Oh,
or
was she
something.
OnlyFans? Okay.
Yeah.
What
But there was another one
didn't
that
she say
came out,
something
too.
about like? Did you say something about like all the Coke bottles that were like around his room or something like that, and like all the soda he's drinking?
She
or
said
something
like she
that?
like helped him back to get back into health and like he would fly her in for the games and like
He's not
dude,
even playing.
yeah, there was like so dude, I'm not kidding, she probably sent out 2,000 tweets. Like it was insane.
Oh my god!
It was nuts. Yeah.
I'm sure her OnlyFans account's popping off right now though.
Oh,
But,
probably.
But yeah, I mean he's already signed that massive, not massive extent, but that big extension. So it's like they're paying him while he's just sitting around eating tubs of ice cream. Whatever the fuck he's doing. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
well, I don't know if that extension's kicked in yet, but starting next year,
I think
yeah.
it definitely kicks in starting next year. But it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, you would be. I mean, at this point, you'd definitely be taking a gamble on him if you traded for him. I mean, it'd definitely be a.
I mean, if I was Charlotte, I did like the only way I'd be trading the 2 pick is for Zion. Like, you give me
Yeah.
Zion, you can have the 2 pick. Done deal.
But then it's like, I mean,
there
does
isn't
Zion-
like a player that has, other than Wembayama, Scoot doesn't have the upside of Zion. Like, Zion is insane. His upside is through
Well,
the roof.
there's not a lot of players at all that have the upside of them. It's just what Zion are you gonna get?
I mean, I don't
Exactly.
know if Zion's not playing for a good New Orleans team. I don't think he's gonna play for a shitty Charlotte team.
And he's from North Carolina. He's back home. Hit up all his old high school girls. He'll love it. He'll have a great time.
I mean, Charlotte's probably even smaller market than New Orleans.
Or
Yeah,
he's gonna
I
hit
mean,
up all the old
he-
hometown food spots.
He's from Charlotte. I mean, you could talk yourself into the LaMelo Ball Zion Williamson combo.
Oh
like,
Jesus,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that's like
that seems destined to fail.
NBA
Whatever that
2K.
is.
That's NBA 2K franchise like gold right there.
That is 2K franchise gold. But I mean,
You could talk yourself into it.
You can definitely talk yourself into it for sure.
I mean, I'd do it if I was
Right.
Charlotte. No way. I mean, I would easily.
I
do it.
feel like the team that should honestly make. Yeah, but I think Cole's with the Knicks. I think that's the team. Like, as far as like taking a swing and a team that should take that swing, the Knicks should take that swing. That because
Swap
Zion,
him
a good
for
Zion would
RJ
put them over.
Barrett.
Like it,
Yeah, Zion for
Yeah.
Barrett quickly and a few first round picks.
Yeah.
yeah, like that would put the Knicks in a really good spot. Like,
If
and
you
It
for-
would
collect-
make it'd really make them relevant. Like they would be like not. I mean, they're relevant now, but
Yeah,
like,
but
they
it would be back to where everybody's talking about the
forefront.
Knicks.
Yeah. and that's where he wanted to play. Like anyway.
Yeah.
So
it also just makes too much sense. Like
yeah.
I mean, a high flyer like that. I mean, as crazy as he is, all those highlight clips, like he belongs in New York. That would be
Yeah.
that'd be great for basketball. Period. To have
Pending
him.
he plays.
Yeah,
if he
which
pulls
is
this
big
shit.
Oh,
off.
dude. Oh, if he
New-
doesn't
the New
play,
Yorkers
dude, New
would
York's
be-
gonna.
Dude,
Oh,
New York would be rioting outside of his house.
Yeah.
that would be bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on Zion?
Hypothetical trade, 3-way trade. Zion to Dallas, Kyrie to Houston. Houston sends the 4 pick to New Orleans. Everyone's happy.
You've been on this. You've been on this Kyrie to Houston.
Dude,
They're,
well, okay,
they're not trading Zion for the 4 pick.
They might.
I don't unless
Need
they
a little
We'll
bit
give them
more.
Josh Green.
unless
We'll
they
give 'em-
think there's just no hope whatsoever with Zion.
We'll
Yeah,
give
I'm
them-
pretty sure for the 4
we'll
pick, that
send
should
them
be a
Josh
red flag.
Green. We'll send
Yeah,
them
if they're
Josh
good, yeah,
Green.
yeah.
Houston sends them the 4 pick. We'll throw in Davis Bertans and a 2038 first round pick or something. Bing, bang, boom.
Yeah.
Done deal.
Turnkey. Sounds like it's gonna work. No problem.
Yeah, easy.
All right. Next up, we got a couple more guys on the list here. Bradley Beal. He just came into rumors over the last week. I honestly don't even know if I want a part of that contract.
I don't either.
Okay.
I don't think Bradley Beal's ever leaving Washington.
I gotta talk about Bradley Beal for a second. Have y'all
Go off.
seen? Have y'all seen
Go
the
off,
amount?
King.
How have y'all seen the amount of people who all of a sudden think Bradley Beal's like an All NBA player just come out of the fucking woodworks? On every show, they're like, "Dude, Bradley Beal, like, oh, if he pairs with Joel Embiid, like, are they the favorites? Like, I think he fits better than Harden." On the Jay Williams, Keyshawn Johnson, and Max, that KJM show in the morning that blows. Do you know what Jay Williams said? I'm not kidding you. He
What'd he
talked
say?
about a Bradley Beal for Jason Tatum swap. And he was talking because he was like, if Bradley Beal's the man there with Jaylen Brown, like, could that be could that team contend just like they are? I think, of course, Keyshawn's
God.
dumbass is like, well, I mean, he's like,
Oh, don't do that.
I
Don't do it to
know, I know.
Keyshawn. Don't do it to Keyshawn.
he was like, I feel like that doesn't help them. They're just in the same spot. Like, no, they're not in the same spot. They just got substantially worse. Like, Bradley Beal's not that good. Like, I think Bradley Beal is closer to Tyler Hero than he is to Devin Booker. Like, honestly, he averaged 23 points a game for a shitty Wizards team.
I mean,
Like-
he's done nothing but put up empty
I mean,
stats his
Bradley
entire
Beal,
career.
he was an All NBA third team, 2 years ago?
But
like,
that
once.
that contract is horrible.
It's awful. He's a 3-time All-Star. He's never like the only time the Wizards were good was he was the number 2 option behind John Wall, and they still weren't that good. And that's when he was in his prime. He's old now.
I mean, he's
Like,
getting paid
everyone-
$43 million a year.
Yeah, everyone's talking about like, oh, if he goes to Miami, like, and they trade like Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson and blah 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 and blah blah blah. Are they the favorites? I think there's a sizable gap between Dame and Bradley Beal.
I feel like there's also sort of an unknown factor with Bradley Beal that teams can convince themselves in because Bradley Beal has like no playoff experience. We haven't even seen him really in the playoffs much at all in his career.
Yeah,
and I feel like
can't get his team to the playoffs.
team like Miami could be like, oh, if we could put him as the 2 on offense behind Jimmy, then maybe he could provide that spark we need. But yeah, he provides no value on defense.
I don't get it.
He like
I
I
don't-
say, he's
I
a
don't
high
get it at
volume,
all.
low efficient player. I mean,
that's it.
I think Bradley Beal's staying in
Who
Washington.
doesn't play
at this
defense?
point. I think
don't-
Bradley Beal's fine just collecting $45 million a year, and he's just going to play it out in Washington.
I think Beal's gonna leave. I think he's gonna leave because I think he was waiting to sign this massive contract, so then
Definitely.
he could be traded with the
What's
contract.
the market for Bradley? Like, what would you get for Bradley Beal?
I don't think you'd get that much. That's what Brian Windhorst was saying. He's like, I think people will be shocked at how low of a return you'll get for him.
Deontay Murray last offseason went for what? 3 first-round picks and some scraps, and Deontay Murray is on a much lesser deal, and I think he's a better player than Bradley Beal, and he's probably, 6 years younger? I'd rather have Deontay Murray than Bradley Beal. I think Bradley Beal, you get a salary match and maybe 2 first-round picks.
I mean,
see, if we're having the conversation about Deontay Murray versus Bradley Beal, then he's not like a game-changing like star. Like, he's just not. Like, he's not. He's closer to Deontay Murray and Tyler Hero. Than Devin Booker.
You know what rumors we're going to start seeing? Bradley Beal to the Lakers. I could totally see that.
I mean, I think his odds-on favorite is Philly and then the Heat, and then probably New York and somewhere else.
I mean, is realistically is Beal even a number 2 on a championship team, or is he's definitely? I feel like he's a 3. Like,
I think he's a 3. Yeah, I totally think he's a 3.
Like, yeah, I
just don't get everyone's like coming out of the woodworks. Like, we haven't talked about Bradley Beal in like 3 years, and everyone's like, dude, this guy's a stud. Like, put him on X team, and they're gonna win the finals.
I mean, it's like the fact that he, as the number 1, he can't even get the Wizards to the playoffs at all.
Dude, he could barely win a playoff series as the number 2 with John Wall and that whole crew. Like, and that's when he was like really good.
Yeah,
I don't get it at all. Everyone's losing their minds over it. I literally had to turn my phone off today when I heard Jay Williams say, "What if you just swapped him for Jason Tatum?" I mean, are you kidding?
That's pretty bad.
Who are you that stupid? Like, really?
I mean, the bottom line is he's literally what Cole said, a high volume, low efficiency guy who doesn't play defense and has a horrible contract.
He's also played 90 games in the last 2 seasons. He's injured all the time.
Yeah,
like you want to talk about all these other injured players. Like, this dude's injured just as much, if not more. It makes no sense.
Feels like a guy the Mavs trade a first-round pick for.
I'd trade a first-round pick for him. I'll take him for Kyrie. I'll swap.
Really? You'll take him for Kyrie?
Oh, fuck yeah! We'll swap. Bradley Beal for Kyrie.
At least there's a guarantee that Bradley Beal would play for us. You don't have to worry about that.
Well, if he's healthy.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Anything else on Bradley Beal? Anything other disparaging remarks towards him?
I think we're good on Beal.
All right. Next up, our man, Kyrie Irving.
Any team outside of the 2-1-4.
Okay, my thing is like you want to get rid of Kyrie, but at this point you obviously have to sign and trade Kyrie because you can't have another offseason like what we just saw with Brunson, where you don't even get a sign and trade. For Kyrie. So what's the best you're gonna get in a sign and trade for Kyrie?
I don't even want to sign and trade. Let him fucking walk.
You just want to let him walk? And
do you know how much cap space we have? We can go sign Fred VanVleet. We could go get Chris Middleton. We could go get 2 good players to put around Luka, and then
how much better
cap
is
space
that?
for the next offseason.
Well, first of all, the Mavs, their track record of signing top tier free agents is very bad. So
It's-
you don't
there's all-
you don't know if we're gonna get Chris Middleton or Van
Our
Fleet.
whole
Someone else may be
track
offered the
record as a
same
front
contract.
office. Our whole track record as a front office is terrible in every aspect.
Exactly. So
And
even
besides
if
drafting
if
Luka,
you,
we drafted Luka.
I think
that's
at
just because
I-
Mark Cuban likes
I think
white
at worst
European
you
players.
have
We just
I
got
think at
lucky.
worst you have to sign and trade Kyrie to get something back because you traded that 27 pick, which could end up being a valuable pick, and then 2 not great but pretty decent players in Dodo and Spencer Dinwiddie. And I just cannot see the front office saying, okay, we're going to let Kyrie walk for absolutely nothing with no guarantee of signing. There's no guarantees you're going to go get a Van Fleet or anyone else out there. And I mean, Van Fleet.
We would have a ton of cap space to
but-
fill out the roster. I don't think Luka and Kyrie fit. Like I don't think they can work together.
I think they can coexist. Yes, like it was an absolute disaster last season when these two played together, but you did see moments to where the offense was absolutely dynamite. And the defense last year was probably the worst defense in the NBA. There was no real rim protection. Our main 3-and-D guy, and our only 3-and-D guy really that could guard opposing wings was Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock, if he was in the Lakers this past playoffs, would be getting, I don't even think he would play. And he's our
No, he wouldn't
3-and-D small forward that's getting 40 minutes a night in the playoffs. He needs to be the third or fourth option as that 3-and-D wing type of guy.
Oh, we're so
But-
screwed.
Like when we talk about like the Mavs like off season, like what we should do, I think you have to re-sign. I think maybe if you could sign him to a 2-year deal, I think that would be great. It's not a long-term commitment. And so I drew up like a hypothetical Mavs offseason thing here. I wanna
Tell
hear
us
what you have
about
to
it.
say about this. So
Let's
Tell us
hear it.
about it.
for the Mavs, okay, you re-sign Kyrie to a 2-year deal. I don't know if anyone else is going to offer him anything better than a 2-year max. So hopefully you get him back on that. You sign Dylan Brooks to the mid-level exception.
Love that.
Now the team chemistry, I don't know how that's going to pan out, but you would think hopefully that this guy's humbled after what happened with the LeBron shit in the past playoffs. But Dylan Brooks is slotted in as your 3, and he's a guy, if we're going to the playoffs, okay, you're guarding LeBron, you're guarding Kawhi. Your only role here is to be our defensive ace and shoot open shots, cut to the basket, kind of be like an Aaron Gordon type of player for the Nuggets, which I think he very well could do that. I mean, he's a great defender.
Yeah.
You trade the 10 pick and Tim Hardaway Jr. for the 15 pick and Clint Capella. I think Clint Capella's impact, like no one really, he's not that as good as he was with Houston, but as a rim runner and a rim protector, I think he would fit in great with this Mavs team. We had literally no rim protection or rebounding. No one talks about rebounding. Dude, we got out rebounded so bad last year. We could not rebound to save our lives.
It was horrible.
And then you get the 15th pick and you draft Derek Lively Jr., the guy who's at Duke, who was the #1 prospect last year coming out of high school. And that guy's your backup center. That guy, he's kind of like the same as Capella. He's not a great offensive player, but he's going to be a badass defender and a rim runner. And apparently he can shoot 3, so maybe he could develop into something there. And then you maybe try to go get like a Jeff Green or a Jay Crowder or a Harrison Barnes or just another 3-and-D wing guy. And then you go into next season. You go into next season, you have Luka, Kyrie, Dylan Brooks, Maxey, Capella, and on the bench you got Hardy, Josh Green, Derek Lively, and then who else would
Wait, who's Maxey?
Maxey Kleber.
Oh,
Kleber.
And then you got like a Jeff Green or someone like that. It's a 9-10 man rotation. And you hope that Josh Green and Jaden Hardy take steps forward as well. I don't
that'd be pretty sweet.
I don't see how, because at the Mavs this point too with Luka, it's like there's already reports there where if we're not real deal contenders, Luka's going to leave. So I think if you're Nico Harrison, the Mavs front office, you kind of have to accept that and say, yeah, Luka's only
You got to
24,
throw all your chips in.
but we have to win with this guy now, or otherwise we're probably going to have to trade him for first-round picks and hope to God that turns out well. With
if we sign Kyrie Irving to a long-term deal, it will be the end of Luka.
Oh, everyone's getting fired.
It will
Everyone's
be the
gone.
end. Luka will request a trade by year 3, and it will be over. Kyrie will be the end of the Luka experiment.
So let me ask you this though: what would you do if you're Nico
I
Harrison?
would try like hell to sign and trade him. If not, I would sign him to a 1-year deal. If he doesn't want that, I'd let him walk. We have a ton of cap space. There's a ton of good free agents coming up in the next offseason. We can fill out our roster with that money. Luka's better, honestly. at this point, like he likes playing this way. Let him play his way this year with just good role players around him, good substantial guys who are decent. Let him do that. Let him be happy for a year, and then we go for it next offseason.
But you
If
cannot
we hitch our wagon to Kyrie Irving, it will be the end.
a 2-year deal. I wouldn't say is hitching your wagon to him,
I don't.
and that's why I say if you can get him on a 2-year max deal.
I think
But
the 2-year deal's fine. If we
I
sign
don't
to a
think he's
4-year
going to
max,
accept that.
I don't think he will either.
I
but
don't
if
think
we
he's
were
going to
if
take that.
If
But
we were
is
to,
anyone going to
if-
offer him a 4-year max? I don't know if anyone will.
If Houston doesn't get Harden,
If
okay,
no one-
you know,
If no
you
one
know what
does,
I'd
he's
love?
going to have to accept that.
I mean, someone will give him a 2-year deal.
No, I'm saying
somewhere.
if someone doesn't give him a 4-year deal, he's going to probably have to
Yeah, but
accept the
he's
Mavs
so
2-year
emotionally
max.
like weird that like if we were to be like, no, we're not going to give you a 4-year max, we'll only give you a 2-year max, and someone else offers him a 2-year max, I'll be like, okay, I'm going with them.
Well, then at
Fuck
that,
you.
I mean, I guess you let him do his
Which
thing.
I'm fine with.
But
I don't
at that-
care. I do not want Kyrie at all.
I would
problem
like
is the way
I would
the-
like to see him run it back.
I mean,
Oh,
the problem
God.
is like with what Nico Harrison did, like he took a swing to go grab him in the first place. He has to resign him.
Yeah.
Why?
Like, I'm not saying I want that to happen, but he has to do that. Like
that
he took the
trade
swing to grab
cleared
him.
our cap. We have so much cap room now. The only
But-
person we're
but-
paying is Luca.
You don't trade a
worst
first
case
round
scenario-
pick and
Wow,
get
we're
Kyrie
paying
to open up cap
Bertans
room.
18 mil. We're paying Hardaway.
Well, we're
like
gonna swap
20 mil.
Bertans. We're gonna trade
we
Bertans
still have some
by
bad
draft
contract.
night.
But even if you let Kyrie just walk, you're banking on hoping that we go sign guys and that they want to come to Dallas. And like, yes,
They never want to come to Dallas.
I agree with you that like Luka operates better when he is like the solo, like he runs the offense. I mean, last playoffs, like that team, I mean, Brunson was probably the perfect number 2 to have with him. But you're not winning a championship in today's NBA if you do not have a Robin to Luka being the Batman. It's just not going to happen. I don't care how good the role players are, you know, how dominant Luka can be. Like you got to have somebody come playoff time, come crunch time.
We're not gonna win
you
if we
have
have two Batmans beating the shit out of each other.
But no, but Kyrie took
Luka's
a
gotta
back.
change the way he
Kyrie
plays.
did take a back seat to Luka, and Kyrie can play great off the ball. Kyrie does not need the ball that much to be
I
great.
think Kyrie was on his best behavior to get a contract. I think
Well,
if we
but-
were to give
but the thing
Kyrie a
too
big
is
contract,
with
it's
the
done.
Mavs though, they did such a big hole to where we can't we almost have to accept it and just
I
roll
don't
the
think we
dice that
dug
it's
that
gonna
big a
work.
hole. All we gave up Dorian Finney-Smith, who we all know now sucks ass. He averages
He
4
doesn't
points a game.
Suck it.
Dude,
he's a
he
decent
barely
player.
played on the Nets.
But
He's
the
a
Nets-
solid player.
The Nets also have more 3-and-D wings than any team in the league. They're absolutely loaded
He
on the wing.
averaged 3 points a game and barely played. Spencer
He-
Dinwiddie is a good 6-man. Like outside of that, and we gave up a 2027 unprotected pick, which if Luka's still on our team,
But
hopefully we won't be missing the playoffs at that time, so that pick's not worth much. That trade, one, we took the swing with Kyrie. I think we saw it didn't work. We've seen the track record with Kyrie blowing teams up every single place he's been. The worst case scenario, you let him walk, you cleared our cap for guys that we had locked up to long-term deals that probably weren't worth the money. And we gave up a first-round pick to do it. I don't think that's that big a hole.
it also comes back on our last offseason, how you let let's say you let Jalen Brunson walk for nothing, which is what they did, and then you let
That's
Kyrie
a whole
walk.
different story.
But it's the narrative. It's like we did last offseason, we let him walk for absolutely nothing. Couldn't even get a sign trade
Yeah.
for fucking Mitchell Robinson. And so for the Mavs perspective in their front office now, I don't see how they can fully say, oh, we're just gonna let Kyrie walk. Because they did it you see how bad it burned us last offseason.
That's why
Yes,
sign and trade.
It's
Sign
not
trade him.
it's obviously not the ideal scenario, but the Mavs have kind of fucked up and now it's a tough situation. There's no, good answer to this situation. So
I would rather restart with Luka and cap space than hitch our wagon to Kyrie and just hope it works out.
but you restart and you let Kyrie walk. This team the next few years, this team's not competing for a championship.
it
and
depends
then-
on what we do with the cap space. There's a lot of good free agents this year. I mean, we
But
really
it's
could
so-
build out a team
Yeah,
and at least compete. And then the next
can
offseason, if we
compete,
still have cap flexibility, we regain another first round pick. We have more players on the roster. Then you go out and make the trade for whoever's available at the time.
They're
the
not-
Joel Embiid, the Bam on a bio.
Oh, we're not
whoever.
going to have the assets to get one of those guys when they come in. The only reason we got Kyrie was because his value was so deflated. We have
I
they have
bet in a year we could trade
we don't have
hypothetically for Joel.
we have I think they have 2 picks at their disposal to trade with the Steffian rule.
Well, next season we'd have a third. We could also trade a bunch of pick swaps. We could trade Josh Green, Jaden Hardy. Like we could put together a package. We would be completely gutted, but we could at least.
I think a lot of it too.
package.
Yeah, just banking on the development of Hardy and Green. I mean, that's obviously
Yeah.
huge. They're the only 2 young players with any upside.
At least we have some young player that's.
I mean, that's
somewhat
the
exciting.
Yeah.
well, that's the thing too. Is like Luka was so good so early to where we never got good draft picks in the whole Luka Doncic era. So
The
or
only
they've
one
traded all
Brunson.
of them, or they traded all the picks, and they
Ugh.
turned out to get nothing back for him.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, this all stems from Brunson, just losing Brunson. I don't even care if we had sign and trade Brunson. Like, you could have kept Brunson and Luka together, and they could have been our 1-2 punch for the next 10, 12 years. And you could have built players
they
around
could've.
that, and that team could have won a championship.
and
Multiple
in
championships.
hindsight, it's
did.
always easy to say that. But also too,
But this
think
issue
we all-
stems from that, and now we're in the hole because of that. And I don't think we should keep digging deeper into this hole. Like, just we screwed it up. Quit trying to fix the issue. Just reboot. Like, we have a ton of cap space. Fill out the roster.
but
let Luka play, and
doesn't
then
want
keep
to
cap flexibility.
Luka. We all know Luka doesn't want to reboot. Like this guy's ready to go.
Do you think Luka wants to play with Kyrie? They were 4-11 together.
I mean, I don't. But I think like Luka. I don't know how the defense in the rebounding and the rim protection was so bad last season. It was
We
so
could fix
bad.
that with cap space.
But like, okay, let's say the next 2 to 3 years, you go out and dream scenario.
No, I'm
you get
talking
a
about this
Middleton or
offseason.
whatever.
This
Like, that
offseason,
team's
not the
not
next 2 to 3 years.
I look at it as like the big picture of like and I know obviously it's very hypothetical. Like, oh, if we actually get a fully committed Kyrie, but I believe if we get a committed Kyrie that's playing 60 games a year and we have him for the playoffs, and you put the right pieces around him, like a Brooks, a Capella, a Jeff Green, whoever the fuck you want, and you draft a Lively. I think that team. Maybe you go trade back to get Dodo. I think that team.
You're banking on
if
something
everything-
Kyrie hasn't done since 2017.
Yeah, but what's the alternative? You're banking on the Mavs to sign free agents to get there?
And have cap flexibility. Yeah. I think that's a better option. Dude, Kyrie has
who
every
is the-
single place he's
Okay,
gone
well, first
to
of
the
all,
ground.
I don't think big name players want to play with Luka because they see that he doesn't fit with second stars.
Well,
and-
we wouldn't be signing any big name guys. We wouldn't sign the
But that's what I'm saying
Dames or
is
whatever.
like in today's NBA, like if you don't have a Robin, I don't care how good Luka is or how good the role players are, you're not going to win a championship.
This is true.
You're not.
I
you
mean-
got to have someone to defer to. You have to have someone to defer to. And on the court, if Kyrie's bought in playing, you could definitely defer to Kyrie.
if he's
100%.
bought in playing.
If
which
he's
All right.
bought in
He
playing.
won't be.
Guys,
All right,
final
Brophy,
takes.
break the tie.
What should you do or what will they do?
What do you think they should do?
Oh, I think they should do a sign and trade, get rid of Kyrie.
Okay, yeah.
As much as,
But between the option of keeping him or letting him walk, I think we're all on the same page on we would rather sign and trade. But
keeping him or letting him walk.
For nothing.
I would rather let him walk, but they're gonna keep him.
thank you.
Or certainly try to. That's both options suck. Like it's
They're
just
both terrible.
they both suck.
Either way, it's a big unknown because like you say, you don't know if Kyrie's going to buy in. Then if you let him walk for nothing, it's like you don't know what the hell you're going to end up doing in the next year or two.
And
with
we
that
look like
cap
But
absolute.
I think if you hitch your wagon
we
to
look-
Kyrie, you know how it ends.
That's why I like it.
Seen it in
That's
every
why I like.
spot.
That's why I'm saying if you can get him a 2-year deal, I would be happy with that.
I don't think he's going
A
to.
I would be happy
A
with a 2-year deal.
a 4-year
He's
deal,
not
I
signing
would
2-year
not
deal.
be happy with.
If
He
he
very
signs-
well
if
may
he
sign a
signs
2-year
4-year
max.
deal. If it's a 4-year deal, it's over.
I don't know if anyone's gonna. I mean, there's only like what 4 or 5 teams that could offer him a 4-year max.
I don't know. Houston sounds pretty stupid right now. They seem like they would do it. They sound like
and
they
I mean,
really
if-
want to fuck their
Okay.
team up.
If Houston's gonna offer him that, then you let Houston do that.
Hey, and then we do a sign and trade. We get KPG back, or KPJ. We get Kenyon Martin Jr. and a first-round pick. Boom.
Love it. All right, we done with Kyrie here. We got to move on, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got shit to talk about. last guy on the list here, we got Zach LaVine. Do we have anything else to say about Zach LaVine that we didn't say about Bradley Beal, basically?
Not
I don't
really.
care about Zach LaVine.
Yeah,
at
I don't
all.
either.
That's
Yeah.
what Zach LaVine gonna do. Nothing.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd rather
I
have
mean-
Zach LaVine than Kyrie. I'll say that.
Okay. All right. Last topic NBA. We got our top 10 duos in the NBA currently.
Wait, did someone make a list for this?
I actually did make a list.
Brophy
Oh,
did.
let's go.
All right. This was compiled fairly quickly. So let's see if we can find it real quick. Where
Wait,
is it
okay.
at?
Did you do this based off like everything or just straight talent?
I think probably everything, right?
So you're talking about like
Probably.
fit and everything. Because like I feel like if you do straight
I
talent,
d-
Luca and Kyrie are like in the top 3. But like,
Well, it's like I
assume
didn't
you
I didn't do Luka and Kyrie because Kyrie's still free agent. I don't know if they're actually gonna be together. Like I didn't do Embiid and Harden because
Oh,
Harden's
okay.
gonna be free agent. So like I just did guys like probably like the best 2 players, like
Okay,
like the best
like it.
2
Okay.
guys. So okay, so I got my 10. So honorable mention, I got Cat and Anthony Edwards. I think they're a good, solid 2-man duo. Good, both good players.
I think you
All
can
right,
make
we're
a case it's Mike Conley and Ant, but sure.
Next, I got 10. I got Ja and Desmond Bain at 10. 9, I got Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. 8, I got Steph and Clay. Just because, I mean, Steph just makes that one a lot better. 7, when healthy, I still got Kawhi and Paul George. 6, Giannis and Drew Holiday, or Middleton, whichever you want to do. I
You
thought it's
did Giannis.
interchangeable.
You did Giannis and his second player at 6.
So they're very good. Drew's a very good defender and still, gets buckets sometimes. And then I did Butler and Bam at 5.
You have Butler and Bam over Giannis. Oh my god. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
They went farther. They beat them.
So what?
Just keep going.
And then
just keep going.
I got Tatum and Brown at 4. I got LeBron and AD at 3. Jokic and Murray at 2, and I still have Katie and Booker at 1.
Wait, where did you have Jokic and Murray? Where did you have Jokic and Murray?
One sec, my thing's freezing up. What? My connection fucked up. What'd you say, Cole?
Where did you have Jokic and Murray?
I had him at 2. I
That's
still put
just- I mean,
Booker.
that's terrible.
I think they got to be one after like
They
what we just
definitely
saw.
have to be
I still
one.
put Booker and KD against them just because, like, I mean, we saw what they can do. The 2 of them. It's just that Suns team, they had nothing around them, and the Nuggets still have an amazing team around Murray and Jokic. So I still put talent wise, I still put them 1. I still put KD and Booker 1. But
I don't
Yeah.
I don't like that. I just Tatum or Booker and KD don't work together. They don't fit together. They're 2 amazing isolation players. You don't have like a playmaker and a scorer. Like it's not like-
Booker's
it's not- it's not
Booker's a
fit.
pretty good playmaker. I mean, when
Booker
Chris
is Booker is a shot creator.
when
before-
Chris
he-
Paul
he is
went
a
out,
ISO
when Chris
player
Paul went out,
before a
Booker was
playmaker.
averaging 8 or
he
9
actually did.
assists a
Yeah,
game.
he actually did well.
Booker
Yeah,
can
but-
play make.
But that's not Booker's game.
But
Booker
he-
is
but
a,
he- I'm
Booker
saying-
is a scorer. Like,
but
that's what he
but
does.
he's also a pretty damn good playmaker as well.
He's not nothing as a playmaker.
He's definitely
not nothing.
Well-
definitely decent as a playmaker for sure.
I mean, I can understand. I can definitely understand. Jokic and Murray 1 to be 1, and it's like I would never like. You could talk to me tomorrow, and I might flip it. But it's like, I mean, it's like Katie and Booker are still. I mean, they can drop 4. They
Yeah,
can both drop 4 on any given night.
I can understand that because I could see the argument of if you swapped KD and Booker and Jokic and Murray and you gave Booker and KD
Yeah.
the rest of the Nuggets roster and then you gave those 2 the Suns roster, then there's a good chance that KD and Booker team with the Nuggets roster could win.
Wait,
but-
Brophy, who was your 3 and 4? had
3
Tatum-
was LeBron and AD. 4 was
Oh.
Tatum and Brown.
One thing I will say, and this is a big F again, but I think if Kawhi and Paul George are both playing, I would take them ahead of Tatum and Brown.
Oh, for sure.
Like
I think I
when
just
we've
put them
seen
down
that,
just because they're not healthy.
yeah, they never fucking play together. But
I
when
would
that
still take.
when that tandem's healthy, that's a fucking filthy duo right there.
Yeah, but the only thing is that we haven't seen that tandem in 2 years, so we don't really.
Yeah, I know.
No, I
That's the
know.
problem.
So
They're
we,
still
I
up
mean,
there. You still gotta
I
give them
think
respect.
the
But like,
fact that you don't have Giannis and Drew Holiday / Chris Middleton in the top 5 is ridiculous. Giannis, that I
yeah,
would
don't
put,
lose. Hey, don't lose in the first round then.
dude. I know they lost, but I still don't think you could.
Who'd you
I
have
would
at
put
4?
Tatum
I
Brown.
had Tatum and Brown at 4.
I would put Giannis and Drew over them.
I would too.
I'd probably
Tatum and Brown just don't work. Like
Yeah.
it's obvious they don't work at this point. And I mean, if Giannis plays that whole series, there's a good chance they beat the Heat.
I'd put
So-
Giannis and Drew at 3.
Who'd you have at 5?
Bam and Jimmy.
I like that. I think they earned that.
Yeah, give respect where respect's earned. You know, come on.
I'd do Jokic and Murray at 1, Braun and AD at 2, and then Giannis and Drew.
You don't even have KD and Booker in your top 3.
I'd put KD at Booker at 4.
They're both too good though.
We haven't seen them. Well, I mean, so are LeBron and AD. Like, if you want to do just talent, I mean,
I
Bron
think
and AD are up
the
there,
KD
too.
Booker thing, like they traded so much depth to get KD.
Oh,
Like
they had
just,
nothing.
They weren't. I mean, KD and Booker were both playing like 43 minutes a night.
I mean, every game, even that first series, they were playing 45 minutes a night. Like it was
Yeah.
insane. Like they
I think
couldn't do
I
that.
think this offseason the Suns go and get some decent pieces around them. They could be right there with the trophy next year.
I just don't know how they're gonna, like, if Chris Paul's not their point guard again. I don't know how they're gonna fit. It seems like you know how LeBron, like, obviously LeBron and Wade were amazing, but LeBron and Wade never really fit together. And I don't think obviously they're as good as LeBron and Wade, but I just don't know how the fit between the two of them works. And it's the same thing with Tatum and Brown too.
Well, I'll tell you what they do. They trade Ayton and get something back for him and open up some more cap space.
Well, if
Probably
they do that, they're gonna probably trade him to us. So
Yeah, that's the other problem.
Yeah, I mean,
All
I
right.
don't really have many problems with that list.
Yeah, great. All right, let's move into the NFL a little bit. Let's dip our toes in there. We're gonna talk a little. Let's start off with D Hop. Just had a visit today with the Patriots. Apparently that went well. Talked with the Titans last week because that makes sense. Where do you think D Hop's going? Anyone got a hunch here?
I think
New England.
Makes too
My
much
thing-
sense.
my thing with I don't even say New England. I think he should go to either the Chiefs or the Bills. Like my thing with D Hop, he hasn't really shown that he is a guy that really cares that much about winning a ring. But if he does, he's not going to go to New England. He would go to either the Chiefs or the Bills. And if I'm D Hop, I'm looking. He's what, like 30, 31 at this point. If I'm
Something
D
like
Hop,
that.
I'm looking to get my stats as good and big as they can get this year. Then I'm cashing in on one more mega deal. And I think if you put D Hop on the Chiefs or the Bills, he's going to absolutely ball out. He has a chance of winning a ring. And next offseason, he's a free agent. He signs a 1-year deal. He could get another massive payday. I just don't. I mean, he's going to be the one for sure if he goes to New England. He's going to have Mac Jones. I just don't see him putting up gaudy numbers with the Patriots with Mac Jones as the QB.
Oh, I could see him putting up good
Oh,
numbers.
dude, who else is Mac Jones going to throw to?
And it's also they got Bill O'Brien there. D Hop's
Yeah.
best statistical years with Bill O'Brien.
I think D Hop would shred with New England. I mean, dude, he's going to get 12, 15 targets a game. They have no one else to throw the ball to.
I mean, do you think his numbers would be better with New England or with the Chiefs?
New England. Because
No,
the
his
Chiefs,
numbers are good.
because the Chiefs, he's going to have great games, but he's also going to have games where he has 4 catches for 50 yards. Like, because they
I mean,
just
he's-
spread the ball around.
I mean, he would probably have that with New England as well. He would definitely put up some dud games. I don't see him putting up gaudy stats with the Patriots. I think the Bills. I think he'd put up the biggest stats with the Bills. I mean,
Okay,
I don't.
do you think he'd be-
I don't
do you
think Gabe
he'd
Davis
have
is that
better
good.
stats. Do you think he'd have better stats than Tyreek Hill on the Chiefs?
No.
Well,
But-
Tyreek Hill only had he averaged like 1,400 yards and like 11 or 12 touchdowns a season. He had
I
that
mean, if
one
you-
year with like
I mean,
1,800 yards.
If he went to the Bills,
And
would he have
that's-
better numbers than Diggs?
No, With New England, he'd be the
I'm,
bona
I'm saying
fide
with
one.
I'm saying with the Bills have shown they do not want to run the ball at all, and I don't think Gabe Davis is really even a good receiver at all. And Gabe Davis had games last year to where he balled out. I think if you had Diggs and the D-Hop tandem, and also the fact too, I'm saying of him winning a ring. Like if he cares about winning a championship, he's not going to the Patriots.
Well, it also depends what he wants to do. I mean, the Bills only
Hey,
have
the
$5 million cap
Patriots
space.
Patriots got a decent team. They're not. I mean, like if they got Nuke, I mean, like it's not
No.
the missing piece. But I mean, New England could win 11 games,
I
10
really think
games.
I really
They
think
were
Bill
8-9
O'Brien.
last year, like, and they
I
got
really think Bill
screwed in
O'Brien's
3
gonna.
games.
I think Bill O'Brien's gonna be pretty. I think he's probably gonna be like revolutionary for them, honestly, with
I
how
do
bad their
too.
play calling
I
was
mean, you
last
go from
year.
a
Their
D
defense is gonna
coordinator
be
to
good.
Bill O'Brien.
I
That's
mean,
pretty good.
yeah, Bill O'Brien. He led the Texans to multiple playoff seasons. I mean, multiple
Yeah,
playoff
I,
berths.
I, I think statistically, yeah, I don't really understand the statistical argument. I think that's a clear cut New England case because he's just going to get fed the ball. Like they have nowhere else to go with it. Like if he's on the Chiefs, you have Kelsey, who's going to get his 10, 12 targets a game. You have all the running games, the short actions, and all that, and you have the plethora of young receivers who they want to get involved.
I mean, exact.
If you go to Buffalo, you have
the
Diggs.
The Chiefs number one is Kadarius Toney right now.
Yeah, but that's not how their offense worked last year. Their offense was spreading the ball around. I don't think he's going to go in and be like a Tyreek Hill impact. And even if he did have a Tyreek Hill impact, I still think he'd have better stats with New England just because of sheer volume. The volume's
But
going to
just
be
like that,
insane on
that
New
that
England.
that Patriots offense, like, and especially with Bill O'Brien, like it runs like with like that dominant X receiver. Like that's what
Yeah.
they need.
Yeah, I don't understand the statistical because on the Chiefs, like so many people are going to get the ball. Like they've invested a 3rd-round pick in Tony. They invested in Sky Moore. They just drafted that 2nd-round receiver. Like they still have 2 backs in the backfield and Kelsey. Like that ball's going to move around. It's not just going to be spoon fed to Nuke 15 times a game. Like there'll be games where he gets 5, 6 targets and that's it. Like New England, he won't have a game under 8, 9, 10 targets, and he'll be averaging double digits every game.
Well, the bigger issue is the money. Like the Bills have 5 million cap space, and as of right now, the Patriots have. It says on what I'm looking at here on overthecap.com, they got about almost 14.9 mil in cap space, so they can actually afford to give him some money, while the Chiefs and Bills can't.
Yeah. Well,
And that's, I think, the bigger
and the
issue.
Chiefs and Bills have already said that they're out, haven't they? Like he's
Yeah.
not visiting them. They already said that.
I
they're
think
out.
there was little rumblings with the Bills, but then eventually it came out that like it just doesn't. They can't make it work.
Yeah. Now, I mean, if he were to go to the Titans, then that's just.
Oh Jesus!
I don't know what to think about that, but I think
That would
New
be
England.
bad.
New England makes it makes perfect sense. Like
Especially like Bill
it's
Belichick's
exactly what New
history.
England needs. It's exactly what Mac Jones needs. And Nuke gets to be the number 1 receiver, getting 15 targets a game again, which is probably what he wants. So
Yeah, and it fits exactly what I mean. It's like what Bill Belichick did with Randy Moss. Like it's similar to that. Like it fits. All right, next up, Dalvin Cook recently released. Where does he go? He says he wants money. I don't know who's going to give him a fuck ton of money. I mean,
He
I don't
needs to
think
go to the
anyone's.
he needs to go to the Cowboys. The Cowboys have the 2nd most cap right now. And Deuce Vaughn is not your number 2 running back. I don't care what anyone thinks about him. And Tony Pollard is a guy that should get at max 18 carries a game.
I don't mind the Dalvin Cook to Dallas, but it's on a 1-year deal.
Yeah,
Like,
not like a
But
3 or 4.
isn't he looking
Yeah.
for like a 2, 3-year deal though?
I don't think anyone's going to pay him a 2 or 3 year deal with the money he
Okay.
wants.
No one's got the
Yeah.
money to pay him big money right now.
No.
Like
And
to
he's
pay him like an actual
and
like,
he's in running back standards, he's an old running back coming off many
That's what
injuries.
I was gonna say. Like, I mean, how much better is he than Zeke right now? Like realistically, you
I think
he's
he's
substantially better. Like, I don't.
I think he's definitely better.
I mean, he was still pretty good last year.
I think Dalvin still has that.
I mean, he's had
home
4
run
straight years of
ability.
running for over 1,100 yards,
Wasn't his yards per carry though under?
and he's
4
more of a
last year?
receiving threat than Zeke.
That's true.
And I mean the Cowboys. I say the Cowboys too because they're. I mean with the Cooks trade and the Gilmore trade, like you kind of
Go all
like, let's
in,
go all
yeah.
in.
Well, we
And
have the cap to do it.
If there's
so.
I mean I don't know what else they're going to spend the cap on for this year. So
Yeah.
if you can go get Dalvin on a 1-year, $8-9 million deal or whatever, I say you go and do it because there's no one behind Tony Pollard at all.
I still kind
There's
of I want
literally
us to
no
go
one.
get like Leonard Fournette or Kareem Hunt. Just they can be our bruiser. and let Tony Pollard keep his role. I mean, I'd love to get Dalvin too, but
And I would like to. So Dalvin did average 4.4 yards a carry last year. So
that's still pretty
still a good player.
He
And
still
if you
he
get,
still
I mean,
has
who?
some
The thing is,
burst.
who else are you gonna sign right now? Anyway, it's like, because I mean, personally, as I would, he's still good. I mean, he had almost 1,200 yards last year. I mean, he's still a receiving threat.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a 1 year deal, then use the money to get him.
Yes.
Like I agree with that.
I
But
mean, unless you're gonna-
also
unless-
don't think he makes like if you were to sign Leonard Fournette compared to Dalvin Cook, does that win us a playoff game? I don't think so. Like I don't think that's that big a difference. Like I don't think that propels us to winning a substantial game late in the season or a playoff game. So
I
if
mean,
you
I
can-
think
if
it
it's a-
translates maybe another regular season
Playoff
win
Lenny. I mean,
for seeding purposes. I mean, Leonard Fournette, he's trash at this point.
Well, Leonard Fournette was
not a-
playing behind the worst O-line in the league. I mean, he was really
I mean,
bad,
Rashad
but-
White also was substantially better than Lenny. I don't
Yeah.
really know how much Lenny has left at all.
I
I
wouldn't
think it's
mind
the Cowboys,
getting
like
Lenny
they
or-
have the cap, so you may as well fucking use it. Like,
Yeah, I agree with that.
at a certain point, like you gotta start, signing some of these like these leftover like veteran free agents that are just sitting around.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, a lot of them are probably like trying to, get out of fucking training camp and all that shit. 'Cause they don't want to do that bullshit no more.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on Dalvin?
I'd like to see him go to Miami. I think that'd be fun.
Nothing. All right.
Miami-
Let's
Miami
get right
would
into the
be
NFC
fun,
East.
yeah.
We're gonna table. That would be fun. That would be fun. All right. Let's get to the NFC East. We're gonna table the NFC West till next week. We're running out of time here, but NFC Beast. Who do we want to start with? I mean, let's just start with the Eagles. Let's just start with
So
who won it
Philly?
last year.
No, let's start with the
Start with
Giants.
Philly.
Let's
I
start
mean,
with the up and coming New York Football Giants.
Oh, stop it.
I don't mind like the Giants'
Uh,
outlook. I mean, I don't think the Giants are obviously going to be a threat to win the division because you have Philly and Dallas there.
No.
But I mean, to get Daniel,
Yes,
and
it's
I think there's
unfortunate.
still a lot of concerns about Daniel Jones, but you get Daniel Jones in year 2 of Brian Dable's offense. You get some actually receiver talent on this team now. You got Paris Campbell. You drafted Jalen Hyatt. That Hodgins guy, he's not bad. You get Darren Waller in there. Who knows what he can do? And then you get year 2 of Evan Neal, Kayvon Thibodeau. Y'all's front seven is nasty. Y'all do have some guys on the D line that can make some noise, and I think another
We got talent. We just yes, the ceiling probably is what it was last year. Another
Yeah.
playoff win. We just don't
Yeah.
have the overall. We don't have the dogs,
I will
especially
say
like
the
that
one
that
thing-
Philly and y'all have.
The one thing about the Giants is y'all have great coaching, which like that wins games like all the time.
Jesus
Like
fucking
and that
Christ.
makes players play better. It makes shittier players play better up to what they could, and then when they come back down to earth and they leave. But with Dable running the offense and with Wink running the defense, you will have you'll be getting the most out of your players. You won't be a poorly coached team, which is a plus.
Yeah, I mean that's what we had last year. We were always we got the most out of our guys. We got a lot more out of our guys. I mean, granted, a lot of the wins last year we had were very fluky, for sure.
Yeah, y'all
But,
are the
like,
luckiest team in the league.
Yeah, but the Vikings were. It was us and the
Well,
Vikings.
yeah.
But either way, that is what I'm very happy about is the fact that we'll always have Dable and everyone's like always shooting for like that next offensive guru and like
Will you always have Dable? Because in 3 years and Daniel Jones flames out, you know what happens.
well, yeah, of course. If shit goes south this year, people are gonna be starting to say shit.
I mean,
it,
if now that y'all have guys, y'all have Waller now. You got Paris Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
You got
Daniel Jones has no
Robinson back
excuses.
again. You got to see another. We have to see another jump from Daniel Jones.
well, and I think this
So-
next year with the actual
Another jump from 12 touchdowns.
well, I think because the thing is last year they kept the offense like they never really opened up the offense because of the shitty receivers we had that were coming off practice squads. So it's like you're bringing guys in. It's like you can't teach them the entire. They're not good. it's like it's kind of hard to open things up when your receivers just aren't good.
Yeah, and that's what we're gonna see this year. They probably will open the offense.
Oh, they're
so
gonna.
we'll
They
see.
have to. They're definitely
So
gonna have to.
we'll see how Jones does with that. If he does
Yeah,
well, then
y'all are a team
if he
that
does
should
well,
go
then
after
maybe
Nuke.
they have your guy. But
we don't have the money to.
I know, but y'all
Unfortunately.
that'd be another perfect spot for Nuke.
That'd be perfect. And it's like, yes, I think the Giants are definitely on the up and coming. Yes, a lot of it's still depending on Daniel Jones, and we need to see another jump. It is what it is. He's a fucking $40 million a year quarterback, who we can get out of after year 2. We can cut him for not a lot of money, so not a lot of dead cap. So want to make that known.
It's a great outlook.
Yes,
That's what you want to be cheersing about when you sign your.
I'm just saying we do have a backup plan if it doesn't work out, which is comforting.
Rebuild.
Whatever, we'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we
Yeah.
get but yeah, unfortunately the Cowboys and Eagles are both just they're too good. They're too good everywhere else. They don't really have holes, if any. And the Giants, we still have holes. We
don't.
Except for Mike McCarthy calling plays. We'll get to that. All right. So we're done with the Giants here. Let's just go to the Cowboys. Let's let y'all go to work here.
The one thing I'll say with the Cowboys is like the 2 moves they made this offseason for Cooks and Gilmore. Those are moves every offseason we clamor to see the Cowboys make, and they never do. They never go trade a 4th or 5th round pick and get a big time talent like a Cooks or Gilmore. They're both a little bit older, but they're both still really good, productive players. And those are 2 moves that I think could make all the difference in the world. And I'm the guy that's gonna always doubt I gotta see it before I believe it. Like I gotta see them make this run to the NFC Championship before I'm gonna say I think they will. But
You said a week ago you had a feeling.
But
He did say he had a feeling while he was eating muscles. He had a feeling.
I do have somewhat of a feel. I don't know, man. Like last year, it was like in the playoff. Like CeeDee Lamb was really our only receiving threat at all. Michael Gallup. I mean, most receivers off of ACL injury really aren't the same. But now you get Michael Gallup a year removed from his ACL injury. You have CeeDee Lamb. Y'all can say what you want. I think he's a bona fide number 1 in this league. Cooks, I think, is a great compliment as number 2. And yes, they lost Dalton Schultz, but I really think Ferguson and Schoonmaker, I don't think you lose much with that tandem versus Dalton Schultz. The O-line's absolutely stacked. Even when Tyron Smith goes down, you still have Tyler Smith, you have Biatch, you have Terrence Steele, and you have Zach Martin. Those are 4 solid-ass linemen. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, obviously you got Micah, you got Lawrence. You have arguably the best cornerback duo in the NFL now. But yes, like always, it's going to come down to Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott. So the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs. I don't know if we're going to win the division. I wouldn't be shocked if we do because no team has in like 18 years. But it's going to come down to that, like it does fucking every year for the Cowboys. Can they make it happen when the lights are the brightest?
Real quick, Luke, before you go, and Cole, when you're feeling, I really think last year was y'all's best chance. Like, it was y'all's best chance. I was actually scared y'all were gonna do it.
Our roster's better.
Our roster is better.
It is better, but the way things worked out last year, the playoffs and everything, like y'all had a really good shot to do it last year.
I mean, the NFC's in the pretty much exact same state this year. It's like the Eagles. The Eagles and Niners are still the 2 biggest threats, and then that's 1 and 2. And then the Cowboys are the 3rd. After that, it's kind of a crapshoot. Like those are the big 3 with the Cowboys.
Bunch of competitive teams.
1A, 1B, and then the Cowboys at 2 behind the Philly and San Fran.
Okay, I'm starting to come around to the Mike McCarthy play calling offense.
Why?
Dude, have you seen his stats? Dude, he actually is he was a really good play caller when he.
When was the last time he was a play caller?
And he also had.
It was a long time ago.
He had prime Aaron Rodgers as quarterback too.
I know. I'm just saying, like when he was a play caller, he was
10 years ago.
Good play caller.
It's been a decade. He's gained he's 3 shirt sizes up since then.
He was the same size 5 years ago. Don't cut him any slack.
He was the same size.
He was the same damn size.
I don't know. He got bigger.
I mean, I'm still not thrilled about it. We still have to see it, but his track record as a play caller is pretty damn good. Like he doesn't like all the years he called plays, their offense, it was in that 10-year run, like those 5-6 years were the best years the offense was. So
I mean, there was
Obviously, he's
definitely a reason.
outdated, but
There was a reason he had to give up the play calling duties at one point. I mean, it happens. Like,
well, he's re-innovated and ready.
oh, really?
He's
After all
gonna
the
run the
film that
damn
he,
football.
after all the film that he didn't watch in that one off year.
But then back on the running back thing, it's like, yeah, Mike has said that that's what he wants the philosophy to be, is to run the football. Like, there's no way they do not add another running back. There's just no way.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
have
because
to.
Pollard
They-
can't
they
take those
definitely will.
hits.
At
And
the end
that-
of the day, we're gonna re-sign Zeke if we don't get anyone else.
Signing
bet
Zeke
I would
makes too
put
much
money.
sense.
Yeah, and
I'd put
I'm
money
fine,
we
and I'm
re-sign
fine
Zeke.
with that. But yeah,
I am too.
like Cowboys personnel wise, outside of another running back, maybe you want to throw in another lineman. Like, they're not
Maybe
missing anything.
like a linebacker, maybe. But that's
Yeah,
it.
maybe.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of young, exciting linebackers too.
Especially if
Jerome
Mozzie
Clark,
Smith, if
Jabril
Mozzie Smith
Cox.
hits too, if Mozzie
Yeah.
Smith hits on the D line, I mean our D line's gonna be.
I mean, that was like
stacked.
the main week. It was our run D, and apparently he's a run stuffing guy. But then like the Diggs if we can get Gilmore was a borderline all pro cornerback last year.
Yeah,
Like,
he
he
was
regained it
amazing.
with the Colts. If we can
Yeah.
get that Gilmore back there with Diggs, I mean, dude, with the pass rush being what we know the pass rush is capable of,
And we have great
the
safety
defense-
play too.
and we still have damn fucking Quinn. So like
yeah.
the defense is gonna be really good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really fucking good. It's gonna give any offense problems. It's gonna come down to Dak. Like we've
And
we've
that's
seen that
what's-
we've seen this show time and time again. So
and that's the scary part.
and we know we're gonna get in the playoffs. We're gonna be good in the regular season. It will just see what happens come playoff time.
Yep.
It's pretty simple with the Cowboys on.
What it all comes down to is
Yeah.
literally Dak to the playoffs.
Yep.
And then
Mike.
y'all just got to keep hoping that y'all keep Dan Quinn as long as possible because
Yeah.
he has been a godsend
But
for
it's
y'all.
but let me
I mean,
ask this. So like if let's say rinse and repeat, we may win a wild card game this next playoffs, lose divisional round to I don't know, the Niners again, Eagles, I don't know. But what do we do then? And Dak shits the bed again. What do we do? Do we just
Mike's
run it
gotta
back
be-
again?
Mike's-
What-
Mike
I mean,
feels like he's gone if that
Mike
happens.
will be the scapegoat, but will Mike really
Yeah.
be the issue? Is the
Dude,
que-
Mike's not the issue at all. Mike,
No.
I honestly like what Mike's done the last 2 years. Mike should have been he should have been in Coach of the Year discussion last year. I mean, he went 5-1 with Cooper Rush. Like
Yeah.
every other coach that does that with their backup quarterback is praised beyond all doubt. And Mike McCarthy, like, oh, he's just finally doing a good job. It's
I
like,
don't know.
dude, like, give him some credit. Like,
I will say, like, there is skepticism for Kellen Moore, but in that Tampa game, Kellen Moore was a
yeah,
wizard.
he dialed it up.
Kellen Moore made Dak look so damn good in that Tampa game, and Kellen Moore in the Niner game wasn't the problem at all. Dak was the problem, and so that's kind of a worry for me too. Is I don't know if there's a team that's shutting down the run, they're locking up CD. I don't know if Mike's gonna have the creativity and provision to go off script and dial up shit like Kellen Moore could.
I mean,
So I do
always,
have a worry there as well.
I also Dak's just never really shown an ability to like throw you back into a game like
Overcome
certain
something.
No.
like
Yeah.
certain like
It-
some of the other better quarterbacks.
Yeah,
in the
it
league.
all
Yeah.
has to line up perfectly for Dak to win in the playoffs.
Oh, it really does because he's never really been able to.
I mean, they
overcome
should.
adverse
He threw that
circumstances.
Niner game away. They should have beat the Niners.
Yeah.
He threw that game away.
That second pick right before halftime was it. Like that was a almost a 10-point swing. It could have been a 10-point swing.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I really think Cole, like you said, with the Gilmore and Diggs pairing, that is
It's a
nasty.
scary
and
pairing.
that's what's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be really badass for you guys to have all that and to
the
have
defense is going to be stacked.
and with the pressure that you guys put on quarterbacks too.
Yeah.
That'll be scary.
I mean, and the receiver, like, yeah, you have CD, Cooks, and then I really think Gallup's going to come back to the guy we saw a few
He
years
should be
ago.
better. Than he
And I
was
mean,
last
if
year.
we
He'll
get
be
that,
better.
if we get that Gallup as our number 3 receiver, that's a absolutely loaded receiver group.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Well, we'll see how
loaded.
much Cooks has in the tank, but
I
because
mean-
Cooks had a bad year last year, but
I
we'll
mean,
see.
he had Davis Mills and Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, he
Driscoll
wasn't
throwing the
working
ball.
with much, but we need to make sure he's not washed completely.
I mean, either way, I mean, Brandon Cooks is like a number 2 or number 3 guy. Like,
yeah,
that's definitely
he's a
that's
good
not
number 2 receiver.
I mean, when's the
for
last
sure.
time he was like truly a 2? Like,
I mean,
was he?
he's been in the one role for a
He's
damn long
always
time
been the
now.
one role.
Yeah,
Even with the Rams, what was Cooper Kupp really balling out when he was there?
well,
Well,
they
I
have,
think Cook,
Actually, no, he was the one because they had Robert
Yeah.
Woods too, but he was
Yeah.
the one there.
Yeah, it was the one. So it's like
So
he's
that could-
never really.
that could benefit him.
Oh, I think it definitely will. I think it'll benefit y'all too. The fact
Well,
that
it'll stretch the defense, which is the most important. It'll literally be able to take the safeties with him to let CD
Mhm.
and Gallup work in the middle, which will be perfect. Which is what we need. We need
Yeah.
a deep threat.
I mean, yeah, because last year that's Noah Brown who we're throwing to in those situations. So
Yeah.
the fact that we can get that to Cooks or, Gallup removed off his ACL. I mean, Gallup was invisible last year. I mean, he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So
I mean, on paper, like there's. I don't want to say. I mean, barring injuries, like with y'all having probably a top 3 defense again, if I had to guess, 12 wins seems like pretty attainable and like something that y'all should definitely get
the
to.
schedule is pretty tough.
Oh yeah, our
but-
schedule is definitely harder for sure.
Yeah. But I think they're gonna get 11, anywhere from 11, 12 wins probably. They're gonna make the playoffs. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
We know what they are. All right, and let's finish off with the Sam Howell led Washington Commies.
Did we talk about Philly?
I don't think we talked about Philly.
Hey, you're right. You're right. Let's go to Philly. Yeah, let's talk about them before we talk about the fucking Commies. Yeah, fucking yeah. They lost the Super Bowl, but they are just
Their front office should be studied by anyone who wants to be in the front office in the future. Their front office should literally be like in the literally like GM for Dummies book. Like they are just they like run laps around the league.
Yeah.
the fact they just
in
like
their
wait
front
for
office.
guys
It's
like
insane.
Jalen Carter just fall into their lap.
And then
Like
have the like execution to go up and get him when he's there still. It's like as
Yeah.
soon as Atlanta passed on him, and then you were like, okay, let's go get him. Like we know we're going to take him.
Well, it's scary too because they lost Javon Hargrave, who was great for him, but they replaced him with Nolan
A
Smith
younger-
and Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
Like
A
you can
younger
make an
guy
you
with
can make an
the
argument
higher
they upgraded their D line.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
they
only
lost-
thing we got to look at for the Eagles is the coordinators. I mean, like, because they did
Yes.
lose both coordinators, and that's big. Like
Mhm.
Nick Sirianni, I don't know who's their new OC, but Nick Sirianni's going to have to call plays and really have to run the show. And honestly, their defense is so good, and I don't think Jonathan Gannon knows what the hell he's doing anyway.
Gannon's not even a
So-
good coordinator anyway.
Yeah, I don't
Like
think
their
Gannon's that
defense
good,
wasn't even
so-
that good the previous year before this past year. It's just their defense was fucking loaded.
Yeah,
Well,
they
they played the Tennessee Titans and Browns with Jacoby Brissett all year long.
yeah
Their
they have
schedule
too
is, like,
they have
big.
too
True.
much talent to not be great. Like
Yeah.
I mean the rotation on that defensive line is just it's insane.
Oh
like
God!
and
And they
they've
still
done-
have Bradbury and Slay too,
And
just like we
it's-
have Gilmore and Diggs.
and it's pretty hilarious how their philosophy in these drafts the last couple of years have really just been, oh yeah, Georgia's had like the best couple years of college defenses in recent memory. Let's just draft a bunch of those guys.
Let's
Yeah.
just import the Georgia defense.
And
Probably
that-
will work.
That's a pretty good idea, I'd
Yeah.
say. I mean, and then offensively, best offensive line in the league.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter who's running back, who's
An
back
amazing receiving core. I mean,
well, and they got
yeah.
Swift for a 4th round pick.
and
He's
they
about
got
to ball the
Swift,
fuck
and
out.
well, they got Rashad Penny too, and Rashad Penny last year before he got hurt, like week 7, was balling for Seattle too.
If Penny's
Yeah,
not hurt, he's a great running
healthy.
back. And they
Yeah.
just got Swift just because.
And I
Yeah,
mean, they
and
could really throw anyone behind that O line. It doesn't matter. But now you actually have 2 badass, talented players.
Yeah,
So
and Jalen Hurts is obviously
he's
Jalen
he's
Hurts,
only going to get
so,
better. Like,
yeah. I mean, the only thing that's going to stand in their way is coaching. So it's kind of the same situation as Dallas. Like,
Who
if
is
the-
their
if-
OC?
I don't even know. But like,
Look that
if
up.
coaching's really the only thing that can get in the way, the only thing you're not worried about with Philly is the quarterback shitting the bed. Whereas with Dallas, you're like trembling, terrified of it once it comes to a big
yeah.
game.
Hurd showed you last year. He can do it for sure.
Yeah.
All
Shit,
right.
Hurts was the runaway MVP if the Eagles won that Super Bowl.
Brian Johnson is the offensive coordinator. Have no idea who he is.
I've never even heard of that guy.
Oh, I think he was on the staff last year.
One of Sirianni's boys.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was a quarterbacks coach.
Hmm.
So probably just like a smart move for them. But yeah, they're still at the top of the division. I don't really think there's any doubt about that.
Yeah.
And then all right, we can finish with the commies here.
Yeah, they're
with Sam Howell.
yeah, Sam Howell sucks. It's pretty simple.
Hey, I'm excited to see Sam Howell.
Hey, he didn't play horrible
He
against y'all
played
last
pretty
year.
good. He played pretty good.
He
when
played terrible against us. Dak threw like 3 picks. and we
He
fumbled.
didn't
a few
play
times.
that bad.
Hey, he didn't play that bad.
Dude.
That ball he threw to Terry McLaurin, that deep ball was
I'm
was
kind of
that was
excited.
good.
I mean, he could be good. We don't really know. They obviously like him a lot. They've seen something that makes them believe
I mean,
in
Sam
him.
Sam Howell in the game against us went 11 of 19 for 169, 1 touchdown and 1 pick.
But he showed flashes.
That's
Yeah.
not like an awful stat line. I mean,
It's
that's
pretty
not-
awful.
Well, I mean, y'all's
That
defense. Let's
could
keep
be
in mind of
worse.
where y'all's defense was last year too. Like y'all had a top 3
Yeah.
defense. Like
I mean, well, Sam Howell's like a shittier Baker Mayfield probably, but
He
we'll
is
see.
built. He is built like Baker.
he looks like
He
Baker.
looks like Baker.
Hey, let's not forget. I
He's
mean,
got the same doughboy build.
hey,
Yeah.
I mean, before his last year at North Carolina, I mean, coming into that season, he was like the #1 guy in mock drafts. So
Yeah, he
he's-
was supposed to be like the #1 pick.
he's talented.
Yeah. No, I mean they've got some players. We'll see
I
what
mean-
the hell happens with Chase Young. But I mean, they got
That's
McLaurin.
weird.
They got the double running backs. Who's the? Oh, they got or Jahan Dodson too. He's good.
He's not
He's
bad.
good.
Yeah.
They have good
They've got
receivers. They have a
talent.
good D line.
Yeah.
No, that stuff with Chase Young is weird though. How they're like, it sounded like they're like, dude, like open a trade offers. They didn't sign to the 5th year. Like,
I think the
I thought it's-
Commanders. I think the Commanders are starting Sam Howell, knowing that he sucks, just to get the 1 pick next year and going and grabbing.
I don't think they're. I don't think they're.
dude, I
bad
feel like
enough
with
to
his
as
get
name-
long
one
as they have
pick,
Ron
though.
Rivera, they're gonna be like competitive. Like
Yeah,
they're gonna be
always
like a
think-
7-10 team. Like,
Yeah, they're always gonna. They're not like they're gonna be a scrappy team that like hangs in games and wins games. Like
yeah, like because I mean, last year we thought, I mean, midway earlier, in the, like, through like 5 or 6 weeks, we were like, Ron Rivera needs to be fired. This team sucks. Just get rid of him. And it's like they ended up being like somewhat competitive.
yeah,
I mean, what was that? What was that winning streak they had with Heineke? Like they actually like they won a few games in a row. Like it was.
I mean,
don't
they
know, but
they
they're in no man's
drafted what
land.
like 17th overall. Like I mean, they were 8 and 9. Like they
Yeah.
weren't bad.
Yeah,
So-
but they're definitely not in a spot that's very admirable.
Shit, they were
It's-
competing for that third
Playoff spot.
that third
Yeah,
playoff
with
spot.
the
There was a couple weeks late in the season that it was 4
Oh,
NFC
yeah, I
East
remember-
teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, if I were, yeah, fuck yeah, if we didn't beat them, they would have probably ended up in the.
Actually, wait, they had a winning
playoffs.
record last year, didn't they? Weren't they 9 and 8?
I think they were they were 8-8. No, they were 8-8
Oh,
and
8
1
and 1.
That's right.
because
Yeah.
it's a tie against us.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, I remember like that week 17 game or week 16, whatever it was that was like win and get in basically for us.
Yeah.
the
Yeah, I mean
conference.
they were right there to make the playoffs last year. I just don't think they're their coaches won't let them quit, and they have too good of players. I don't think they're going to tank. They're going to
No.
continue to be the scrappy 500 team that
I mean they're
upsets a couple teams and pushes for the playoffs.
I mean, they're just not in the being in a spot like that is honestly just the worst. Like being like that, like holding pattern where you're like you'd
Yeah.
rather suck and be like, hey, well at least be like the Bears, or at least it like well we got this young quarterback and we got these guys. Like we got to maybe there's something in the future. Like the commies have like they just don't
I mean,
really
yeah,
have.
you're holding out hope that Sam Howell becomes like a good NFL starter. That's like
Yeah.
your only hope.
Yeah, it's not a.
He's
fun
got
spot
about the
to
same chance as Justin Fields, so Bears and Commanders in the same boat.
Hey, I'm gonna be looking for. I'm really looking for Bears to get to the playoff. What their odds are? Just if their odds are juicy enough, I would throw a flyer on it just for fun.
Yeah, you have fun with that.
Hey, sometimes it's worth a flyer. So do we want to go through? Do we want to do the records, or are we gonna do it another time and just
Just wrap it up.
wrap her up? All right. Well, it was good getting back here. Hopefully we can do the next one in person. And then, but no, it was good to be back. Good talking. And Cole,
Good
you wanna shout out where they can hit us up at our Patreon and all
Oh,
that
that's
fun
right.
stuff.
They already know where to hit us up. Nowhere.
All righty. Well, that about wraps it up. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.